Imagine you finally escape years of toxic family favoritism, only to have your parents demand that your sister get married at your wedding in a dress of her own. Yeah, that's what they tried. But they picked the wrong bride to mess with. If you've ever felt overlooked or second best in your own family, then get ready, because this story is going to light a fire in you. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned until the end for the most delicious revenge payoff you'll ever hear. I grew up in a house where I might as well have been a shadow, a placeholder child meant to make my sister shine even brighter. If she wanted my birthday cake to be her flavor, my parents made it happen. If I tried to stand up for myself, they'd punish me harder just for daring to talk back. My sister was their pride and joy, their golden child, spoiled rotten, loud, manipulative. She had no boundaries, no empathy, and no respect for me at all. At first, I was just a background character to her. But things got so much worse when we hit our teens. She lost her friends at school. Maybe they got sick of her entitled attitude. And from that moment on, I became her full-time target. Suddenly, I wasn't just ignored. I was enemy number one. Every friend I tried to have, she smeared. Every place I wanted to go, she sabotaged. My parents believed her every lie, no matter how insane, and used her words to lock me down like a prisoner. The only freedom I had was visiting my cousins. And when I told them, in total childish honesty, that my sister didn't have any friends, so I wasn't allowed to have any either, they raised hell. It was the first time someone fought for me. Of course, I paid for it. I got grounded and scolded for lying. But it was worth every second because it forced my parents to loosen their leash, just a little. When I started dating, I was terrified to bring boyfriends home. And for good reason. The very first time I did, my sister tried to seduce him, right in front of me. When he turned her down, she flipped the story and told my parents that he had made advances on her. Guess who they believed? It happened again with my second boyfriend. My sister would throw herself at him, and when he refused, she'd claim he was the one chasing her. My parents always took her side, calling me naive, stupid, a slut. Their emotional knives cut deep. Every day, I was reminded that my sister could do no wrong, and I could do no right. When college came around, the final slap in the face was delivered. They would pay for her schooling, no matter how mediocre her grades were. But for me, nothing. I should get a job right out of high school, they said. They even threatened to decide what loans I could take. I didn't even cry. I had expected it all along. But what they didn't know was that their constant neglect had turned me into a silent warrior. While my sister wasted time and failed upward, I buried myself in books. I clawed my way to a full scholarship, my ticket out. When I posted the acceptance letter online, publicly thanking my parents, they couldn't dare sabotage it. College was the first breath of real freedom I'd ever tasted. I was finally out of their cage. And that's where I met my husband, a man with a spine made of steel. Where I was soft and quiet, he was sharp and fearless. If someone wronged him, he handled it. He wanted to meet my parents before the wedding, just to get a feel for them. But I was so scared. Distance had made me half forget how toxic they really were. I thought maybe, just maybe, things had changed. Nope. My husband came back from that meet the parents trip practically shaking with excitement. He had brought a hidden recorder, and thank God, because what they tried to pull was straight up unbelievable. They wanted my sister, in a wedding dress, to walk down the aisle before me, on my own wedding day. Photos, cake, the whole fairy tale moment, right there on my day. Why? Because it wasn't fair for the younger sister to marry first. The second he told me, I felt my stomach drop. I was numb. Like all those years of being second best were crashing down on me in one final, hateful gesture. But my husband? He saw an opportunity. And the grin on his face, as he described his revenge plan, gave me goosebumps. We decided to pretend to agree. My husband went back to them and said, "Sure, we'll help your daughter have her moment." He even played up a story that I was controlling, suspicious, and hyper-jealous so they'd keep everything off paper. No texts, no emails, no witnesses. They fell for it. For months, my parents and my sister micromanaged our wedding. Every tiny detail, they tried to twist in her favor. Whenever they tried to cheap out, my husband would sigh and say how sorry he was that my sister couldn't have the best. That was their cue to spend even more. They upgraded the flowers, the catering, the photography, the venue. Each time, they thought they were humiliating me, when in reality, they were pouring money into my perfect wedding. My sister practically skipped around in excitement, bragging about how she'd wear a gown down my aisle. The dress, the cake, the decorations, all paid for by my parents in the name of fairness. Then came the big day. My sister arrived in a bright white bridal dress, glittery veil, and a smirk that could curdle milk. She tried to push through security at the venue, but my husband had already given them the heads up. They stopped her cold. Her shocked, furious screams echoed through the hall as my parents argued with the bouncers, demanding she be let in. But the guest list was locked, and this time, there was no sister's lie that could save them. My husband and I walked down the aisle, just us, in the beautiful, elegant wedding they had paid for, while my sister watched from the parking lot in a $2,000 dress she'd never get to wear. It was perfect. I could finally breathe. When I look back, I'm not even angry anymore. I just feel free. My sister and parents taught me how to stand tall, even if it took me years to do it. If this story fired you up, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed? I've got so many more wild stories just like this one coming your way, so turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next video.